News stories. February 27, 2023. There were two big countries called China and the United States. China and the United States did not always get along, and sometimes they disagreed on important things. One day, the United States accused some companies from China of helping a group called the Wagner Group in Ukraine. The United States did not like the Wagner Group because they were fighting in a war that the United States did not agree with. To punish the Chinese companies, the United States put sanctions on them. But China did not like this at all. They said that the sanctions were not fair, and that the United States was being a bully. China and the United States argued about this for a while, but they eventually worked things out and became friends again. They learned that it is important to talk things out and find a solution, instead of fighting and being mean to each other. There were some people who were very curious about the connection between the Chinese Communist Party and a friend of President Biden. They wondered if the CCP had too much influence in the White House, and if that was a bad thing for America. These people were Republicans, and they wanted to investigate this matter further. They believed that the American people had a right to know if the CCP had any suspicious ties to the Biden administration. So, they went to Fox News Digital to share their concerns. They explained that they were worried about the CCP's track record of human rights abuses and unfair trade practices. They also pointed out that the CCP had a history of trying to interfere with other countries' political systems. The Republicans didn't want to accuse anyone of anything without proof, but they thought it was important to investigate this matter thoroughly. They believed that the American people deserved to know the truth, and they vowed to keep asking questions until they got answers. In the end, the Republicans' quest for answers became a big story in the news. Many people were interested in finding out more about the possible connection between the CCP and the Biden administration. And, as always, the truth eventually came to light. There was a very important person named Merrick Garland. He was the Attorney General for the President of the United States, Joe Biden. Merrick Garland's job was to make sure that the laws of the country were being followed and that justice was being served. One day, Merrick Garland was called to appear before a group of people called the Senate Judiciary Committee. This group was responsible for overseeing the work of the Department of Justice, which was the organization that Merrick Garland worked for. This was the first time that Merrick Garland had to face the new Congress, which was made up of different politicians from all over the country. They had many questions for him about how the Department of Justice was doing its job and if there were any problems that needed to be addressed. Merrick Garland was nervous, but he knew that it was important to answer their questions honestly and openly. He wanted to make sure that the American people knew that he and the Department of Justice were doing everything they could to uphold the law and protect the rights of all citizens. During the hearing, the senators asked Merrick Garland many questions about the work of the Department of Justice, including how they were dealing with issues like civil rights, criminal justice reform, and national security. Merrick Garland answered each question carefully and thoughtfully, and he explained how he and his team were working hard to make sure that justice was being served. At the end of the hearing, Merrick Garland felt relieved. He had done his best to answer all the questions and he hoped that he had reassured the senators and the American people that he was committed to upholding the law and protecting their rights. There are some people who work to make sure that the borders of the United States are secure. These people are called Border Patrol agents, and they have a very important job. They make sure that no one enters the country illegally and that everything is safe. But lately, there has been a big problem at the border. Many people are trying to cross over into the United States, and it's causing what some people are calling an unprecedented crisis. The House Oversight Committee, a group of important people who oversee the work of the government, want to know more about what's going on. That's why they've requested interviews with 7 of the top Border Patrol agents. They want to ask these agents questions and find out more about what's happening at the border. They hope that by doing this, they can better understand the situation and find ways to make things better. There was a governor named Ron DeSantis who lived in Florida. Governor DeSantis loved his state and its people very much, and he wanted to make it the best state in the whole country. One day, Governor DeSantis decided to make a video to show the rest of the nation what Florida was doing to be successful. He talked about things like creating jobs, lowering taxes, and keeping schools open during the pandemic. But Governor DeSantis didn't just talk about what Florida was doing well. He also took some shots at the President of the United States, Joe Biden. Governor DeSantis thought that the Biden administration wasn't doing a good job, and he wanted to show the rest of the country that there was a better way. Some people think that Governor DeSantis is planning to run for president himself in 2024, and that's why he's making these videos and criticizing the current president. Only time will tell if Governor DeSantis will actually run for president, but for now, he's focused on making Florida the best it can be.